let's look at how we can simplify our answer. So often when we have a worksheet or a test, it will tell us or ask us to simplify our answer, and sometimes we don't know what that means. All that means is we need to either reduce to lowest terms or write our answer as a whole or a mixed number. Okay, well, how do we know what's what? Well, it depends on what the number looks like. If we have an improper fraction, that's where the top is smaller than the bottom, then we're going to reduce to lowest terms because this means we have less than one whole, right? We have 18 out of 20 pieces. We don't even have a whole, so we cannot make a mixed number. If, however, we have a number on the top that is the same or bigger than the denominator, it means we have more than one whole, and we can make a whole number. Either it will go in exactly or it will be a mixed number with some pieces left over. Okay, so let's do this. 18 and 20. What we're looking for is a number that goes into both. Now, ideally, this would be the biggest number that goes into both, okay? So let's see how we would do that. 18, we've got 1 times 18. We've got 2 times 9. We have 3 times 6. How about 20? 1 times 20, 2 times 10. 3 doesn't go in, 4 doesn't go in, 5 goes in. Oh, 4 goes in. What am I thinking? 4 and 5. Okay, so let's look in this list. Let's see. We know we're not going to use a 1. We're not going to use 18 or 20. They both have a 2. Okay, so there's potential. No, not 9 and 10. 3 and 4. 6 and 5. Okay, so the only thing they have in common is a 2. That is actually the greatest common factor. So let's go ahead and reduce by 2. This is the method of notation I like to use. It's just cleaner, and a lot of students prefer it. But you go ahead, if you prefer to write a divide sign, go ahead and do that. It means the same thing. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay, now last time I showed you how you can write out all the options and you can find the biggest one, but if you don't know your times tables very well, that might actually be quite difficult or time consuming for you. So here's another method. I want you to just find the number that first comes to mind that goes in. So we have 9 and 12, and I can count. I'm looking for even numbers. Okay, it's not even. I'm looking, do they end in 0? That means it's 10. Do they both end in a 5 or a 0? Nope, it's not 5. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the smallest number I know, which is a 3. Does 3 go in? Well, 3, 6, 9, yep. 12, yep. Okay, so I know 3 goes in. I'm going to go ahead and start with a 3. All right, 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that's actually as small as we can go. There's no other number that can go into 3 and 4. All right, I hope you can see how beneficial it is to know your times tables when reducing a fraction. It's super, super helpful. Okay, 15 and 30. Now, if you've got a math mind, you might have looked at this and said, well, 15, because 15 is half of 30, and you'd be absolutely correct. Okay, but I want to show you what to do if that doesn't come to mind. So again, I'm going to look for even. Nope, they're not even. But 1 ends in a 5 and a 1 in a 0, which means they're both divisible by 5. So let's try that. Let's do 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Okay, now 3 and 6, I'm not done yet. This is not lowest terms. They both have another common factor. Okay, they're not even, not a 5 and a 0. Can't do that. Let's start with 3. Well, 3 definitely goes into 3. How about 6? 3, 6, yes. So let's divide it by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And I get 1/2. Okay, so you can see 3 times 5 is 15. And if I had divided it by 15 the first time around, I would have got 1/2. Okay, so I always suggest to students that if you're not strong in your multiplication tables, start with the number that you know, like the smallest number you know can go in, and just keep doing it until you get lowest terms. Okay, 20 and 30. Well, anytime I have a number that my top and the bottom that ends in 0, I love to do this. We can just cross off the zeros. That is equivalent to dividing them both by 10. So that equals 2/3, and I'm done. Okay, now what if we have an improper fraction and we need to write it as a whole or a mixed number? We did a video showing how we can make a mixed number from an improper fraction. So if you're not confident in this, go ahead and have a look at that video. But we're going to do a quick math problem over here. Okay, 32 goes in the house. 9 goes outside. 9 can't go into 3, but it can into 32. 3 times. 9 times 3 is 27. And if I subtract, there's going to be 5 left over. Okay, so remainder 5. Now our little hack is we're going to take that remainder there and we're just going to put it over the divisor, which is 9. Okay, and that tells me that my answer is 3 5/9. Okay, kind of a cool little hack, isn't it? All right, but we want to remember that if we're going to show the 5/9, technically we need to get rid of that remainder sign, that R, because the remainder is not 5/9. The remainder is 5. But if we get rid of the R, then we have 3 5/9. All right, 12 over 5. Well, let's do a little hack over here. Our division problem. 12 inside the house, 5 outside. 5 goes into 12 twice. 2 times 5 is 10, with 2 left over. All right, so I have 2 with the remainder 2. Now, remember, we're going to take our divisor and put it underneath our 2. So our answer is 2 2/5. Okay, did you notice that when we make our mixed number, our denominator is always going to be the same as the denominator of our original fraction? Okay, so if you end up with something different, maybe you went wrong somewhere, because those two numbers should match. The only exception is when you end up having to reduce that number, and that can change things. But otherwise, it should be the same. Okay, let's do 19 divided by 8. 8 goes into 19 twice. That's 16 with 3 left over. So remainder 3. Right, let's take our divisor and put it at the bottom there. So we have 2 3/8. And then we have 25 over 5. Well, 25 divided by 5, that's just 5, right? That's on my 5's times table. That's all we need to do to simplify our answer.